Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616. For years now, fans have been clamoring for the MCU adaptation of two famous Marvel Comics storylines, Planet Hulk and its follow-up, World War Hulk. However, it's made complicated by the fact that Marvel Studios does not technically own the rights to make a solo Hulk film. They are at Universal. So whatever Hulk story is told has to be told through another character's movie. Marvel did finally deliver Planet Hulk in last year's Thor Ragnarok, though it was very different from the comics. The Hulk was not sent away by the Avengers for being too dangerous. He left of his own accord. He isn't being tortured and imprisoned by the Red King. He's given a swanky room by the Grandmaster. He's a celebrity on Sakaar, and he doesn't start a revolution. He merely leaves once he reverts back to Banner. Also, Sakaar is never blown up. The Hulk never falls in love on there either. So a lot of differences between the MCU version and the comics version, but the basic story remains the same. The Hulk arrives on the alien planet Sakaar and begins fighting in gladiator-esque battles. It's similar enough to quench our Planet Hulk's thirst. But that brings up the other story, World War Hulk. This was one of the Hulk's most character-defining stories. The basic plot, for those who haven't read it, is as follows. The Hulk, following Planet Hulk, has taken down the Red King and is serving as the ruler of Sakaar with his lover Kara. However, one day the ship that he arrived on, the one he was put on by Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Mr. Fantastic, and Black Bolt, aka the Illuminati, explodes, destroying Sakaar and killing everyone on the planet except himself and his loyal Warbound. Angrier than he's ever been before, he blames the Illuminati for what happened and returns to Earth, going on the most destructive rampage he's ever been on. It's filled with super iconic moments for the Hulk, including an earth-shaking fight with the Sentry, and a moment where he got so angry, so strong, that he almost cracked the Earth in two by just standing there. So, yeah, it was a pretty big moment for the Hulk, and it's not hard to see why we'd want to see it adapted into the MCU. But the question is, would it even be possible at this point? There are so many factors that are different in the MCU. He was not sent to Sakaar, Sakaar was not destroyed, and therefore he'd have no real reason to be angry at anyone, really, except perhaps Banner and Thor for making him leave. However, I do very much believe we could see a very loose World War Hulk adaptation in the MCU in the near future, and I think that it will happen in Thor 4, which, if I'm right, will be called Thor World War Hulk. Now, this video is going to take some things we know about the Hulk and Thor in next year's Avengers 4, as well as Phase 4, and connect the dots to see how it could lead to a World War Hulk adaptation for Thor 4. So this is mostly speculation on my part. I don't claim to have any exclusive scoop or anything like that. But I think that, in a lot of ways, it'd be the perfect next step for all of these characters. So before we move forward, let's go over the three interesting developments that have happened to the Hulk over the course of Thor Ragnarok, Avengers Infinity War, and next year's Avengers 4. In Ragnarok, Banner has been trapped inside the Hulk for 2 years, which has led the Hulk to become smarter than he's ever been in the MCU, gaining the intelligence and temperament of essentially a 2-year-old kid. A video of Black Widow does eventually get the Hulk to revert back to Banner, which begins a whole new bout of tension between Banner and the Hulk. Banner says a couple of times in Ragnarok that he's worried that if he turns into the Hulk again, he might never turn back, but he does ultimately turn back into the Hulk at the end. It's worth noting that at the end of Ragnarok and the beginning of Infinity War, he is still the Hulk, which seems to point towards Banner being mostly correct. It ultimately takes a hugely savage beatdown from Thanos to eventually force Hulk to revert back to Banner. And throughout Infinity War, a surprising thing happened. Hulk refused to come out. A lot of people thought it was because he was scared of Thanos, but that's actually not the case. According to the Russos, it's because the Hulk is tired of constantly saving Banner's life. So he essentially is throwing a tantrum. By the end of Infinity War, he still has not come out. Now, we don't know much about Avengers 4. Heck, we don't even know the title of the movie. But there was some leaked concept art that showed the Hulk in a full bodysuit, which is something he's never worn in the MCU before, and has led many to theorize that we'll see Professor Hulk in Avengers 4. Dumb name aside, Professor Hulk is when the Hulk actually gains all of the intelligence of Bruce Banner, but retains his strength and temperament. This, to me, does seem like the next logical step in the Hulk's MCU evolution. So I imagine this is what we'll see in Avengers 4. So, what does this have to do with World War Hulk? Well, I personally believe that in the MCU World War Hulk, we might actually get a different kind of attack from the Hulk. Not one based on rage, but on planning. What I would personally love to see, and this probably wouldn't happen, is a story based on an episode of my favorite Marvel cartoon growing up, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Specifically the two-part Gamma World storyline in Season 1. It's one of my favorite EMH episodes. It centers around the popular Hulk villain, the Leader, as he puts a plot in motion to expose everyone on Earth to gamma radiation, basically making a planet of Hulks. You might be able to see where I'm going with this. What if the Hulk just decides that he wants to turn everyone on Earth into a Hulk, and puts a version of the story into motion? I mean, it could even wrap up a bunch of Incredible Hulk-related loose ends. As far as we know, both the MCU's Leader and Abomination are just locked up. So what if the Hulk breaks the Leader out to help him make this idea into a reality, being as how Samuel Stearns knows so much about gamma radiation, and maybe forces the Abomination to work as his bodyguard of sorts, not that he needs one. What I think will happen in Avengers 4 is that somehow Banner and Hulk will find a way to communicate with each other, and Hulk will agree to come out and help the Avengers fight Thanos on one condition: he takes over completely. To put it as he would,
"No Banner, only Hulk."
So I think that's probably how we'll see the Hulk get so much smarter in such a short period of time. And I really think a Thor movie is the perfect place for this to happen for a couple of reasons. Thor is one of the only current MCU characters strong enough to hold his own against the Hulk, but it will be even more of a challenge for him now, because not only is the Hulk just as strong as ever, but he's also got the intelligence and planning of Bruce Banner. Also, assumedly Thor 4 will feature a brand new Asgard on Earth, which would give the Hulk a city to experiment on, but it would also keep it earthbound. I also think this would work best for Taika Waititi. If we get a Thor 4, Taika would undoubtedly return to make it, and I could see him getting a lot of comedy out of Thor just dropping a city there with the locals' reactions. A lot like a run on Thor not too long ago, a couple years back, where he takes Asgard to Broxton, Oklahoma. I could also see the introduction of She-Hulk kind of working here. Maybe the locals hire a lawyer to talk to Thor about Asgard's location, and the Hulk ends up experimenting on her. That's made a bit less likely by the fact that it seems like Asgard will probably end up in Norway, aka not where Jennifer Walters works. But I don't know, it's just a thought. Maybe she sees that the Hulk is on this Asgard on like television or something and volunteers to go there. I don't know. Maybe Ross sends Jennifer Walters there to talk to Thor to try and convince him to join the Sokovia Accords or something like that. It would be a good way to bring Ross back into the story. Now obviously this would be nothing like the World War Hulk of the comics. It wouldn't be nearly as destructive and dramatic. Waititi would undoubtedly play a lot of it for laughs, but I honestly think that could work very well. I mean, really, the idea of Hulk turning Earth's population into other Hulks is pretty silly. Might as well be self-aware about it. Also, 2 words, Hulk Thor. I mean, come on, how hilarious/awesome would it be for a green hulked-up Thor? I could also see this ending with the Hulk being on the path to becoming the Maestro, an alternate future version of the Hulk that rules the dystopian Earth. Maybe in the MCU, Hulk returns to Sakaar and takes over, ruling the planet and possibly appearing in future films as a version of the Maestro. But I'd love to know what you guys think of this. Do you think this would be a good way to bring World War Hulk into the MCU? Do you think we'll even get a 4th Thor movie? Or do you see the God of Thunder dying in Avengers 4? I'd love to know all of your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.